All right, you guys, let's get into this kitchen refresh. So this is how my kitchen looked when I first moved in. As you can see, super outdated. So we got started right away. So first we started off by taking the wallpaper border down. As you can see, my assistant is using my wallpaper steamer to get that down. And honestly, I will say if you're taking down wallpaper, you definitely need the steamer because it works really well. Then once we got all the wallpaper down, I went in and just started painting the walls white. Now, I had a lot of plans for a big kitchen reno later on, but really the point of this refresh is just to spruce up the kitchen a little bit, to get it looking a little bit more modern, a little bit more up to date. So here I'm just going in with that white paint, and these red walls were everywhere. So I'm just using the white paint to cover everything, getting everything white, just to kind of get a more neutral, balanced room. So when I'm ready to start the big kitchen renovation, we can kind of start fresh. I am using Bare Marquee paint here because I love the Marquee line. It's a little thicker than some of their other lines, and I feel like it has really good coverage, as you can see. Now, it will need another coat. I know in the video it looks like it's covering it really well, which it is, but there are some spots that I will have to go over again. But the Bare Marquee line is always great for walls. I use it all the time. And literally this painting went on for what felt like days. It just felt like I had so much red to cover up. And with all the cabinets there, that did make it a little harder as well. But again, my idea was just to cover all the walls. So I just went in, painted the walls, and then eventually I went back to cut in all the corners and things like that. Which brings me to my next point. If you're wanting to update a space or just refresh it on a budget, paint is always a great way. And I always love using a crisp white. I'm using the color Swiss Coffee here. I feel like it always will update a space, make it feel brighter and larger. So paint is always a great way to start. So that's what I'm starting here. I also decided to just go ahead and paint the trim because this trim will be replaced anyway. So I figured why not paint it white, brighten up everything, and yeah. Then I was able to get a little bit of help. I had some family come in town and we were able to turn the now pantry into a little makeshift dining room to celebrate Christmas. So me and my friends, we all had a good time. And here's the thing, even though renovations were going on, me and my friends, we always have a good time. So whatever stage your house is in, whether it's a little outdated and you don't necessarily love the look, still have fun in your home because what makes your home is you. Now, once we were able to have a little Christmas fun, we got right back into it. My dad helped me change this light here. He always loves doing all the electrical work and plumbing work when he comes to visit, so I always like letting him do that. Then in the middle of this kitchen refresh, I actually left for 6 weeks to go film for HGTV's Battle on the Beach season 3. Go check it out. But while I was gone, my assistant was back at home knocking out all the work and getting those cabinets painted for me. So shout out to him for doing that while I'm gone. Then I was able to come back and I came back to Brand New Windows by Andersen. Now, once I was back, I was a little tired because that 6 weeks on HGTV was very exhausting, but we got right back into things. We started taking down these cabinets. Now, there were tons of cabinets in this kitchen, so I felt like removing these cabinets definitely was the way to go because it just felt so cluttered in there, and I knew I was going to be adding an additional pantry. And I was right because taking down these cabinets opened up the space so much, and with me adding cabinets elsewhere, it was just the perfect decision. After taking those cabinets down, I just went in to paint the walls. As you can see, they painted it this brown color to kind of match the cabinets. So I just went in with that same paint and covered it up. And I don't know if you can see it, but again, opened up that space so much. Now, again, what did I say earlier? Make sure, even if your home doesn't quite look like how you want it, make sure you're enjoying your home. So it's time for another party. This time to watch our season of Battle on the Beach. So I had my friends and fam come in and we all celebrated my episode of me on Battle on the Beach, which was so fun. Then another fun surprise, Cafe Appliances supplied me with all new appliances to go with my kitchen refresh, which was so amazing. I absolutely love these appliances because the matte black looks so good. Now, of course, the double oven didn't fit the cabinets that were there, so we had to, do a little ingenuity to try to get it to fit, of course. But all of the appliances were looking great. Now, you will see a lot more of my best friend Trey here in the red. He actually came down to Oklahoma to help me out because at this time I was having a lot of struggles with lupus. So unfortunately, I couldn't do a lot of physical work around this time. So if you see a lot of help, that is why. Thank God I got a good team to help me get these projects done when I'm not feeling the best. So then my towel guy came in to rip out all of the old Backsplash, and we also took out the old sink. Now the challenge here was to try to get out the sink without messing up the countertops, because again, this is just a refresh, it's not a full remodel, but we were able to get the old sink out and put this new sink in. Now, it didn't necessarily look the best, obviously, because the countertops weren't made for this sink, but that's okay, because again, we're doing a full remodel later, so this is just to refresh it for the time being. So we were able to install that sink, get it in, and add in this new Backsplash, which was a total game changer because the old Backsplash was so dark, it was just making the kitchen feel kind of droopy. So this new white Backsplash just set it off. Then it was time for me to finish the cabinet painting. My assistant missed these little cabinets over there, but we're not going to talk about that. And I was feeling a lot better, so I went in and started just painting those cabinets. Now, normally if I'm painting wood cabinets like this, I would prime and take a lot of other steps to do this. But because this is just a refresh, and again, these cabinets will be taken out, I just did a coat of paint. And honestly, that was good enough. It lasted for about 2 years. That's all I needed it for. But if you are painting cabinets, I do recommend that you prime and sand first. A good video to reference is my pantry video. The way I paint cabinets there is typically the way that I paint cabinets. So I don't want to hear anyone in the comments, you didn't prime, you didn't sand. I know. I didn't want to. It wasn't needed here, so I didn't. But yeah, just painting those cabinets, getting everything all painted and ready for the kitchen refresh. And here I'm just using a roller. Typically when I'm painting cabinets, I like to use a brush to get into all of the cracks and the crannies. And then I go back with a foam roller brush and then just brush that on. Now, I also want to know if I'm painting cabinets for real. I usually like to use a sprayer because it's always cleaner. But for a job like this, again, it's not going to last long. So foam roller should be just fine. Once the painting was done, I was able to install all of the little hardware and we were done, you guys. The kitchen is officially refreshed and I think it looks really, really good. I was so happy with how it looked and it did exactly what I needed it to do, just look a little fresh in the meantime while I wait for the big renovation. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comment section and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you on the next one. All right, y'all, later.